Hi, this is Reverend Nicole, and this is the introduction to Mark's Gospel. This is the preview before we actually start the Bible study to give you a little bit of a context and to tell you what we're going to be doing over these next weeks. The first three Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, are known as the Synoptic Gospels. Synoptic is a word from Greek that means to see together. And these three can be laid side by side, and you can see the common material in them. Mark is the shortest of the Gospels, and it's believed to be the oldest of the Gospels. We don't know who wrote Mark, but Eusebius, who was a 4th century historian, reported that John Mark wrote it based on Peter's recollections, and according to the tradition, Peter was martyred in Rome probably during Nero's time or a little after. Today, some scholars doubt this, and they actually see Mark as being less of an eyewitness report and more based on the oral tradition of the early church. What we do know is that this was a living story for those who heard it and for those who shared it. We also have a sense of when Mark was written, probably between 50 and 70 CE or AD. Each gospel has an audience. Mark's appears to be to the Gentile population, that is, the non-Jewish Christians. We believe this explains why many Jewish customs are translated for the people, and while he talks about different Aramaic words and translates them for the Greek-speaking audience. Why was Mark written? Well, different scholars see it differently. Here are a couple of the ideas. One, Mark likely meant to address the situation posed by hard times for the Christian community. Mark looks at things a bit apocalyptically. He sees that the suffering now afflicted on Christians is not accidental, but points to a larger story and to the end of time. He also wants to address some of the problems he sees, such as false messiahs and false prophets in the church. A second reason is that Mark writes to share Jesus' teachings with the church that is growing and is in need of some written texts. An additional is that Mark writes to encourage Christians to grow their faith and trust in Jesus Christ. I think that as we look at Mark, we can see that his purpose is to bear witness to Jesus Christ as proclaimer and embodiment of the kingdom of God, and to challenge those who are reading this to follow Jesus in anticipation of his final coming. The Gospel of Mark presupposes that the best way to bear witness to the kingdom of God and to challenge readers to faithful discipleship is to tell the story of Jesus. The kingdom of God is announced in our first section of Mark by preaching, teaching, and healing, interchangeably done as a means of announcing the kingdom of God. Mark's Greek is written in a way that it's elemental and rough in style. It's correct, but he writes in a popular storytelling fashion. He also writes with a sense of urgency. He likes words like immediate or at once. Some of the themes in Mark are the good news, meaning the gospel, the way that Mark's message is good for all people. Mark 1:15, where we hear about how the kingdom of God is near. An additional theme of Mark's is who is Jesus? Son of God, Son of Man, Messiah. Mark's themes also touch on the messianic secret, which we'll see later, discipleship, and also Mark spends a lot of time on miracles and healing. If you were with us on 90 Days Through the Bible, or this is a brand new thing for you and the first time you've really been exposed to Bible study, Mark is a great place to start. Here is how our study will progress. we will be doing 6 weeks. First 3 weeks are part 1, which answer the question, who is Jesus? And we'll be looking at chapters 1 through 8 of Mark's Gospel. The second part is, where did Jesus come from? Chapters 9 through 16. We invite you to do the readings before you watch the class online. At the end of all of our readings, we'll have a gathering here at the church for just some general discussion about what we've learned, and for questions. We'll share some fellowship together and just have a good time. I hope that you'll be part of the study. If you'd like to join in, what you need to do is just email me at Reverend Nicole, RevNicole, at AOL.com, and I will then send you the links each week that you'll need in order to be part of the study. Thanks.